Hate is our newest big box miniature board game based on Adrian Smith's wonderful Chronicles of HATE comic. It is set in a dystopian post-apocalyptic world of savagery, brutality, and ruin. The world is basically gone as we know it. Civilization has crumbled, the world is in tatters, life is cheap, and pretty awful. And you guys are in charge of clans that are doing their best to survive.
This is a campaign-based game, which we call the Chronicle. In that, you're going to be playing over a series of battles and skirmishes. Your warriors and your clans are going to be changing over time and adapting to the world around them, just becoming more brutal and more savage as the game goes on.
We're here to teach you the game, all of the game, and you can't talk about hate without talking about the Chronicle itself. This is a map of the waste. That's all there is. It's dry, it's barren, it's pretty gross, but it's all we have to live in. The object of the Chronicles over all the games that we play is to win by conquest. You do that by holding territories and by earning hate and resources in clashes that you play. After every game, we're going to record how much hate we get, how much resources we get, and how many conquest points we get from the lands that we've conquered. The lower of the two, hate and resources, plus the value of our conquest, is going to be our final score. At the end of the Chronicle, whoever has the highest score will win.
The Chronicle can be played between 2 to 6 players. We're doing a 3-player Chronicle here between myself, Eric, and Tiago, who is somewhere off camera.
Exactly. I am, of course, I as Clan Umrak have decided to stake my claim in the Deathlands, which I named myself. I own Deathland in an earlier game. I've also taken control of this adjacent territory, which I've marked as my own.
And I'm representing Clan Cow, which we have set up our base of operations in the Panda Skinner's Den over here. I know there's no pandas, but we'll find some out there, I'm sure. And we've expanded into 2 territories over here already, leading toward the center of the world.
Tiago's playing Clan Umgra, and he has taken this land next to this spider maw. He's done his own stuff. But this one's all about you and me, I think.
I mean, we've assumed that Tiago's the worst clan, right?
Well, obviously. Michael was successful in both of his clashes. I tried earlier to get both of these, but Tiago successfully defended against me, so I did not get the territory. I'll get you next time, Tiago, next time. In any case, we are now about to play a clash. We're going to zoom in and play the actual game. It's going to be comprised of 2 games back to back. The first one is going to be me as the aggressor. I'm going to come in. I'm going to try to take this territory from you because I pretty much like your conquest points better than I like neutral conquest points.
Well, that's fine, but I'm going to prevent you from doing that. And the next game after that, we'll see what happens after the first one.
True fact. All right, so in order to do that, now that I'm going in here, since I'm the aggressor, I'm going to choose which scenario we're going to play. I have a choice of 3 because we're fighting in one of the outer territories. I'm going to choose the scenario, the Burning Hill, in which I'm going to try to plunder all of your villages and your huts.
Well, that's fine. I like that one a lot, though, because it just means I just get to kill you and then take all your guys. I'm going to need a bunch of them, too.
Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that, indeed. And here we are, the Burning Hill. Ready to do battle?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do this. Please take note that the components shown are a prototype, that game components and gameplay are subject to change. So this is the scenario, the Burning Hill. I have come in to try to take territory from Mike. I'm doing this by wanting to burning down all of his disgusting huts full of innocence and wonderful resources that I can take
Made out of
for
genuine
myself.
panda skin.
Indeed. The scenario board shows us how to set up the battle using the particular tiles. Hate does come with a number of modular terrain tiles. In this case, we're going to use the mountains. We're also setting up 3 trees that contain resources for the taking. And it also tells us what the individual missions are. Very often they'll be different from the attacker to the defender. So for example, the attacker mission, that's me, I need to pillage the village. There are 5 huts here, which we have set up on the board. These are randomized, so there's something unique and special in every hut. And I have to pillage 4 of those. If I finish that, I win the game and I get 3 resources.
And my goal in this one is, as the defender, just kill the number of attackers that are trying to come and take my stuff.
That's right. In this particular one, you have to KO 6 of us. There is a difference between KO and kill. We'll get to that later. And it also contains a mercenary. There's a randomized deck of mercenaries that we have chosen, Shea, for this particular battle, and she is to be set up right here. Mercenaries are cool in the sense that they're going to be added to our tribe, whoever captures them first.
All right, so let's talk about what composes your actual tribe. Your tribe is made of 11 different miniatures, the most important of which is going to be your prince. He's basically your big badass leader guy. He's the one that holds everything together and is going to be your most powerful model that you have. Next up, you're going to have your champion. He's good at support, he's good at defense, he's basically like a little mini prince. Of course, nowhere near as powerful, but second in command here. Next, you're going to have your shaman. Your shaman has a unique power based on the tribe that you are playing, and they're a very good offensive piece. Can have different powers based on the clan you're playing, but they're a little fragile, so you're going to want to keep them protected. Next, you're going to have the mainstay of your tribe, your warriors. These are your 6, kind of generic guys at the start of the campaign, but through the upgrade system, they can really develop personalities of their own and really come into their own just powerful role within your tribe. And finally, you're going to have your young bloods. These are the new members of the tribe. They're not the best fighters, and therefore they're going to stick to range, but they're the next generation. You've got to protect them and let them grow just like everyone else does.
On top of that, every tribe is unique in a number of different ways. One of which, of course, is the deck. Every tribe has its own unique action deck, which is going to come up during gameplay. Umkal is focused on being berserk and getting into combat, feeding off of their own deaths. My tribe, Umrak, is hive-minded. They're really good at pincering and moving together and gaining bonuses from supporting each other.
And as we stated, over the course of the Chronicle, each member of your tribe is going to grow and expand in different ways. That's one of the reasons why we have the different bases for every single miniature, is that this will be a way to differentiate all your warriors when they start actually branching off and becoming their own unique personalities throughout the course of the Chronicle.
Exactly. And that leads us to one of our coolest features in the game, is these upgrade cards. So because we've already played a few games and we have gained a number of hate and resources, each of us are going to start the game with upgrades. In a form game, I've chosen to upgrade my Youngblood with this extra skill, which is a transparent card, which will slide right over and give me a new skill. So as Michael said, the Youngblood starts with the ranged ability, but now whenever he KOs somebody, he gets to move 2 extra spaces. And finally, every clan has their own village, which is going to upgrade with them as the Chronicle progresses. My village here contains a number of different huts and buildings, each which gives my clan a ability which will last for the entire Chronicle. There's 3 types of abilities. There are permanent ongoing abilities, such as the Hall of Heroes. Every level that I upgrade will allow me to hold an extra mercenary, or the Training Ground, which every level that I upgrade will allow us to have another upgrade card on each of our individual figures, really powerful. Another cool aspect of the village is the Forge, which will give us access to these feats of savagery, which we'll be able to use during gameplay. So you'll be able to, for example, move extra spaces, roll extra dice, re-roll dice, or reactivate figures. And finally, a number of these buildings give us really cool abilities at the end of a particular clash. For example, the Oven, where I can take my opponents that I've captured on the battlefield to cook them for more resources, which will help me win the Chronicle, and of course, remove them permanently from the Chronicle. Or the Torture Pit, which will let me take my fallen enemies and torture them to death for hate.
All right, and here we are. We have set up the scenario based on the clash that you have chosen, the Burning Hill. Each of these scenarios will show us exactly how to set the map, including the starting location of all the figures. Just a quick note, the game does come with 11 black ring bases, so you can separate the attackers' tribe from the defenders, in addition to just how cool the different miniatures look and everything.
Pretty badass.
Yeah, well, mine's gonna be cool. It's gonna make your guy dead and turn him into food.
It's got spikes.
Yeah, spikes make it better. All right, so in this specific scenario, the attacker and the defender have different objectives. Mine is pretty simple. I'm just trying to KO 6 of your guys and keep you from completing your objective by killing you. And what is your mission?
Well, of course, I want to kill you just because it's what I do, but my eyes on the prize, I need to pillage the village. There are 5 different huts. I need to pillage 4 of those. by getting my figures on top of the huts and using my action to flip them over, kill any of the defenders, and slaughter innocents and get the nice, juicy resources inside.
Sure. In addition to that, though, we do have a open mission that both of us can complete, and that is Death to the Prince. And for completing that, we're going to get some additional hate and a very unique upgrade that's going to persist throughout the rest of the Chronicle.
I got eyes on you.
Speaking of last little bit of eyes, we also have our wandering mercenary that is here as well. And the player that does take her out will be able to recruit her into the clan and have them for later use in the Chronicle as well.
That's right. She's mine. Let's
We'll
do
see
this.
about that. Let's get it on.
All right, so let's talk about the round sequence. Every game is played as a series of rounds. In every round, both of us are going to participate. A round has 2 parts, upkeep and action. Pretty simple enough. During the upkeep phase, both of us are going to participate at the same time. Each of us are going to consolidate down to 5 savagery. We'll take any leftover savagery from previous round, discard it, and then go up to 5 savagery tokens. These tokens are going to be our resource management of the game. We're going to be used to activate figures and card abilities. Then we're going to clean up any savagery that was on our figures before from activating. And then we're going to each open 2 of our tribe cards that are going to be available to us for this round. There we go. So let's talk about these cards a little bit because they're unique to every tribe and they do tell you a lot about your flavor and they inform your play tactics. So let's see, I got Pile On, which costs me 1 savagery to use. Before an attack, I get to roll an extra die for every ally in my kill zone. We'll talk about that in a moment. And I will eat his corpse. Whenever I pick up a body, I will, the figure that's picking up the body, if they're supported by 2 or more figures, I can eat them immediately and gain 2 resources. Nothing says love like cannibalism.
Meanwhile, moving over here to the unique tribe cards of the Umkau, I have Ravage Mother Earth, which is my shaman. Instead of activating, they get to get a savagery, and then they'll gain 2 resources on the next round. So they're going to take a small break from the battlefield here to just, ravage Mother Earth.
I can interrupt that by killing him, right?
Oh yeah, sure.
Sounds
sure.
good to me.
But then I've also got my other card over here, Arg Fuck Kill, which is before I roll an attack, if the attack succeeds, I gain 2 savagery, but if I fail, I lose a savagery. Again, tying into the Umkau kind of berserker, go kill everyone. Also noting that neither of mine cost me any savagery. They're just fueled by the action and then by killing.
You're pure hate. All right, let's do this. So our upkeep is done. And now we're going to move on to the action phase where each of us are going to take turns activating figures to do things until we run out of savagery. Then the round is over. All right, kids, I'm going to take my first turn. So on your turn, you are going to choose 2 figures. You're going to spend savagery to activate each of them. So I'm going to choose my 2 warriors. Each of your figures can move up to 3 spaces, either orthogonally or diagonally. If you want to move up a hill, it costs an extra movement point because you're making your way up a inclined plane, which is why you guys are wonderfully staring at me. Since I want to go after your shaman, I'm going to activate these 2. I want to move him 3 spaces, which I can. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to move this guy 1, 2 to get into the forest to ravage that for resources. After I've chosen the 2 figures and activated them, then you're going to act with each one of them. Before I do an action, I'm just going to talk about the kill zone. Every figure that you act with does an action in the kill zone, which is all 8 spaces surrounding them. I can either attack anybody that's in my kill zone, or I can steal resources from a tree in the kill zone, or if I was in a hut, I could go and savage that hut, or attack the mercenary. I really, really, really want to fight you. My warrior is going to attack your shaman. Your shaman is in my kill zone, I can get you. So this is how it works. My blue warrior has 2 dice when he's attacking. I'm going to roll these 2 wonderful dice and try to get you. The attacker must roll first, all dice. Well, I rolled a savagery and a shield. So this result is a savagery, which means I will gain a savagery token. This is a shield, but when I'm attacking, I only want swords. I'm not done with my roll yet because I'm going to spend one of my savagery tokens on my village. These feats of savagery, I'm going to spend it here to reroll one of my dice. I don't need the shield. I would like to get a sword. Thank you, dice, for giving me a sword. Let's resolve this. I want to get a savagery token, which is going to let me activate more figures later. One of the cool things about this game that I really like is that even in combat, if you don't manage to get exactly what you want, you can still generate more savagery for future combats. This is my full result. I have a sword. Now you, the defender, must roll.
All right, so looking at my shaman, they roll 1 defense die on their own.
Puny shaman.
But I'm getting support from my champion and my other warrior over here, and that is an ability that they have. So the support ability states that for each one of my models, in the enemy's kill zone, I roll an additional die on defense.
Oh, right, because they're bothering me.
Right, because I'm bothering you and distracting you. So my warrior over here is supporting with +1 die, and my champion, because of their ability, is giving me +2 dice, which is, again, outlined on their card. So I've got my 1 base defense die for my shaman, my 1 support die from my warrior, and then 2 extra from my champion. So, yeah, you got your 1 little hit right there, but you know what? We support each other, and we're going to kick your ass. In defense. All right, so let's roll and see what we get. Boom. All right, so looking here. Swords are useless for me on defense, so that's right out. I did get 1 savagery, 1 defense, which is going to be enough to stop your 1 die attack, and a wild symbol, so I can turn that into anything I want. Could turn into another shield if I needed, that'd be useless, so I'm instead going to turn this into a savagery, which means on the defense, I've blocked your attack and gained 2 savagery. So, you know what? You tried, you failed. Lesson is, never try.
Nice. Now, my second activation, I'm going to pick up a resource from the tree. Simple enough, I pick up a resource. Now, this resource is going to help me over the long term, over the Chronicle, because I'm collecting resources will get me more upgrades for my village. However, even in game, collecting hate and resources will give us cool advantages inside the game. At any point, if I'm leading in resources, I have more resources than my opponent, I'm going to take the leading resources token, and it's going to give me its power for the duration of the game until you take it back from me. If I'm leading in resources, I can activate an extra figure. So on my turn, I get to activate 3 figures instead of 2, so I can actually get a lot of extra coordination in there. If I was leading in hate, I would take this and I would roll an extra die every time I attack. Also really powerful. This makes, of course, so that we want to keep each other in check and make sure that I don't get too far ahead in resources or hate. That's my turn.
All right, so that was a nice play on your part. I really appreciate those 2 savagery you gave me on the turn, because I'm going to use them to activate my prince. Now, because he is such a badass, it actually takes 2 savagery to activate him. In addition, though, I'm also going to activate this young blood over here, show him how it's done and everything. So my prince is going to go, he's going to move his 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3, noting that moving down the elevated terrain doesn't cost an extra movement. So 2 savagery to activate him. And then my young blood over here is going to move up 3, 1, 2, 3. Noting you can move through your own guys, but you can't move through enemies. And the young bloods have their range attack, and range attacks are default 5 spaces in the game.
No matter what.
Yeah. Now, my prince here is going to attack. Now, I've given him the cleave upgrade, which allows him to target an additional model in his kill zone when he makes his attack.
Yeah, cleave is gross, because it's 1 roll applied to 2 people.
Oh, yes. And he's already rolling a staggering 4 dice, because again, look at him. Of course he's rolling 4 dice.
Sigh.
But yeah, I'm going to try to kill these 2 guys.
Okay. You do have to target 1. It just allows you to hit an additional figure.
Right, so officially this is my target. This is the initial one that is being hit. But I got 1 more for you, because I'm also going, arg, fuck, kill. Because, again, why not?
Ah, so you're making a bet, huh?
If the attack succeeds, I gain 2 savagery. If it fails, which unlikely with 4 dice, but it could happen, I lose a savagery. So, let's play this out and see what happens. So we got 2 hits right there. I've gained a little bit of extra savagery right here, so I'm going to go ahead and use one of my feats of savagery to let me reroll some of my dice, because I don't like shields either. And I really want those guys dead. Boom! All right, so I've gotten a shield, useless to me, but I did get a savagery to recoup some costs here, and then 2 actual successes on the attack. So defend it!
All right, now each of my guys has to defend it separately. Check this out. These guys are supporting each other. He is going to bother your prince to give him a support. Remember that warriors have a base of 2, so I'm going to roll 2 dice, plus support for him is 1. Hate! All right, this wild could be anything. I could make it a shield, but that won't actually allow me to defend. So I'm going to turn that into a savagery. I'll pick up 2 savagery from that. I failed, so I'm KO'd. Ciao. But I'm going to pick up 2 savagery. It's good for me. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. This guy, on the other hand, he's got some defense to do. Unfortunately, he's not getting support anymore from Mr. Sit Down on my laurels, so I'm only going to stick to my basic 2 dice. Here goes. 2 dice that defends against your 2 swords. So he gets to survive.
That's true for now, but my attack did succeed on this, so Arg Fuck Kill is going to give me 2 savagery.
That's right. And you've used the card, so off it goes.
Yep. That's all right. My young blood over here, though, again, he's like, let's go ahead and just try to pick off this guy. You were a little distracted over there. I'm just going to try to throw a spear through his head.
Go for it.
So he's usually only going to be rolling 1 die, but I'm on higher ground.
He has the high ground.
Which is going to give me an additional bonus die. And as we know, the high ground is the only important thing in a fight.
Agreed. Who are you targeting? You're targeting my warrior.
I'm targeting your little survivor guy right here. No survivors. All right, 1 hit and 1 shield.
All right, now it's important to note that I'm not getting any support, even though he's in my kill zone. Support only is based on your enemy's kill zone. Since I'm not bothering you, I'm going to get my base 2 defense from my warrior. So I rolled 2 dice. I got 2 dice, of course I did. I got 2 wilds. So I got choices. It's really cool getting choices on defense since you've already made your choices. I'm going to defend against your attack since I don't want to sit down. This, I'm going to get a nice, delicious savagery. Thanks for that.
Anytime, buddy. Anytime.
All right. Time for my revenge.
The re-revengeing.
The re-revenging it. So much hate. So I'm leading in resources. I get to activate 3 guys. Mwah. I'm going to eyes on the prize. I need to be pillaging villages. So I'm going to, this guy. I'm going to activate this guy. I'm also going to activate this guy. And you don't know what's going on. So I'm going to move this guy. 1, 2, right around that. 3. I need to get there. I'm going to spend a savagery to get an extra move.
Oh, my hut.
I'm going to enter that hut when I am ready to take my action. This guy is going to end up shooting your young blood. I want him down, but I'm going to move him into position first. 1, 2, 3. Here I go. And I'm going to move him up just by 1 because I want to get other people in range.
Yep, tasty young bloods.
All right. One of the reasons I really like leading in resources and getting this is because I get to coordinate with 3 people, and being able to do 3 things before you do your next 2 is really powerful. All right, so first things first. This guy's going to take your young blood out. So 1, 2, 3, 5. I'm going to shoot you, and I'm supporting him because I'm shoving you.
Yeah,
so
distracting.
That's what I do. And I'm going to use my card Pile On, which gives me +1 roll, +1 die for every ally in my kill zone. So that's 1.
The Umrak tactics of gang warfare.
Here I go.
Ooh. My young blood has 1 defense die.
Right, so there's no way, I've rolled 3 swords, there's no way you can generate enough shields, but it's always worth rolling even on defense because you can get savagery for future attacks.
Yep. Well, young blood, you're a little bit dead, but that's why we didn't give you a name yet. You gotta earn that. And a wild, which I will convert into a savagery because everything else is a little useless. Boom.
That's you KO'd. So I want to pick up this guy. As long as you are in my kill zone and I haven't attacked, I can use that as my action. So I'm going to pick you up. If there's any savagery activation tokens on him, I get it. Boom. And I'm going to put you on my warrior's card. Now I'm going to call him Young Blood Killer because I'm the most original namer in the world.
That's a super impressive title, Eric.
Look, these guys are not the most erudite clan out there. So I picked up your body. Now, if I survive with this body till the end of the clash, I'm going to get to put him in my oven or my torture pit because they're both at level 1. I can kill him forever and turn him into resources. Resources.
Meaty resources.
Or I can torture him to death for hate.
Meaty torture.
That's how it goes. Now, of course, you can take me out and make me drop the body and rescue it yourself, but I think you're going to have bigger problems.
Yeah, that's a generic young blood that has no upgrades or anything special about him, so we'd probably eat him ourselves anyway.
You're pretty heartless. I'm going to use my last action here to enter the hut and find out what's inside. Oh, yum, yum, yum. So, this hut has 2 innocents up here, and I'm going to get 2 hate right off the bat. So, let's do that. The easy part first. That's 2 hate. Put that in my pit. Which, by the way, oh, who's leading in hate now, too? So, I'm going to get +1 to all my attack rolls. So, what have we here? This is my favorite thing to get out of a hut. So, these are innocent tokens. As you can tell, there are 2 innocents in this hut. I've got choices with each one of them. I can slash them to bits right now, execute them for savagery, which is pretty useful because I definitely need more fuel to kill you. And I'm going to do that with one of them. Clack! Don't forget to die. No, the children. Grab the savagery out of that. Wonderful little conversion. It's
Whole families can't leave orphans.
It's a resource game. So the second one, I'm going to do the second option. You can actually carry them, just like with somebody else, and you can cook them or torture them as if they were an enemy. Finger looking good. I'm going to stick you on my warrior. Since I have finished with the hut, I'm going to take the burning token and I'm going to set it on fire because nothing says love like setting your victim's tent on fire.
Smell the burning panda skin.
All right, that's my turn.
All right.
What you gonna do?
I'm going to kill your guys.
Okay.
All right, so, well, I'm sorry. I'm going to kill some of your guys, but I'm also going to take some time to, stop the violence for a second. Let's have a nice chat. I'm going to ravage Mother Earth.
Nice.
So yes, I'm going to activate my shaman, and I'm going to spend a savagery to my forge upgrade of reactivating a figure. And you know what? It's going to be my prince. Because again, I've upgraded him. He's a badass. It's going to cost me again those 2 savagery, but well worth it for this. Because again, he's going to come over there and murder your guys. That's our slogan, right? All right,
Murder your guys.
Yep. So we're activating the Ravage Mother Earth card. Instead of activating my shaman, I place a savagery token on him. And if he survives into the next round, I will gain 2 resources.
Know what you're gonna do next turn.
Die. Die. And now, as I said, my prince is going to activate. Now, again, it cost me a lot of savagery to do this, but he's worth it. He's a badass. I've upgraded him. So he's going to go, stomp, stomp, stomp to right here. Hey, bro, I'll deal with you in a second. Let's get this little pile of savagery over here. Now, noting this is a risk reward here because...
Yeah, because taking him out is going to be pretty profitable for me.
It's pretty profitable, but you're not going to do it, so it's fine because I'm going to make you dead. So he is going to use his attack, cleave, and I'm going to be attacking this mercenary here because I really want her, and your champion right there. That is your champion, isn't it?
That
yes,
is
it
my
is,
champion.
It's a brown base. I can see that. All right. My prince is rolling 4 dice. Let's do this. Get me a new mercenary and a dead champion. Okay, we have 2 hits, a savagery, and a shield. You know what? I really want these guys to be dead here, so I'm going to go ahead and spend 1 more savagery on rolling an additional die. Also noting here that because of my forge upgrades, I have access to each of these upgrades once per round, and this clears off. If I had upgraded these further, I would have access to rolling additional dice or additional rerolls, but this is what I got right now.
Well, you do. You note that I actually upgraded my rerolls, so I'm actually getting 2 of them every round.
Well, okay, fine. Hit him really hard. A shield. Okay.
Oh, if only you had more rerolls.
If only I had more rerolls. Okay. All right, but this is going to resolve. So 2 hits and a savagery. So savagery there.
2 hits is still pretty impressive. Like, you only need 1 sword to knock me down. So you're cleaving. Your original target was my guy?
It was actually the mercenary here.
Okay. Well, I'm going to defend with my champion. Do that first. Give you good stuff. Well,
Ooh.
so, bit of a crossroads. I mean, I've got my 2 savagery, which is great. And I got a shield. I could turn this into a shield or let my champion go down and get another savagery out of it. In this particular case, it's pretty clear to me. I think I'm going to stick with the 2 shields. I want my champion up. That's going to be a shield. Now, for you, Wayfarer Shea, She's a mercenary, and since you're the one attacking her, I'm going to be the one rolling for her defense. She has 5 defense. If you don't kill her, she's going to attack you back. And if I roll any savagery, it's actually going to be +1 sword. Shea, for right now,
You're going down.
we have the same goals. We are aligned. Well then, if she was attacking, she'd be pretty amazing. 1 savagery, which I don't get to claim because I'm using a mercenary instead of one of my own people. So looks like Shea's going down.
Okay, that was quite an unfortunate roll, but I'll take it.
Now, this is important because of the scenario that when you take out the mercenary, you are gaining 2 hate just for taking her down.
Hate.
Yeah.
Oh, Eric, you don't
Unfortunately,
have the most hate anymore.
we are now tied in hate, so that goes back in the middle.
Perfectly,
Oh, it was good while it lasted.
Perfectly symmetrical hatred.
Now, she's down. She is ripe for the taking. I believe I'm going to take her back with me. I think it's better face down in shame. The turn is mine. So I guess this is my plan. My eyes on the prize. I definitely want to win this scenario. This is going to be pretty hard, and you guys have flanked the huts here pretty well. So I think I'm going to pivot, but remember, there's this, what I like to call the side quest of taking out your prince. And look at these guys. They want to get it on. That can stay. These 2 guys, it's clobbering time. So I'm going to activate Mr. Prince, activate my champion, and I'm also going to reactivate this warrior. Ready for this? You're not ready. I'm going to move my champion. 1, 2, just kind of hanging around. I'm going to activate my prince. It's going to go 1, 2. Costing me 2 savagery. And reactivating, I have to spend my savagery. I'm going to reactivate this 1, 2.
Come on, you guys have one job. Okay, well, let's kill them and
They have
protect
2
the
jobs.
hut. Okay,
I have
sure.
to spend 2 to activate my prince, and I have to spend 1 to activate my champion. Running out of savagery, but this is going to be the turn of turns. Let's do this. I'm going to enter the hut, get some more innocence. Innocence.
Nah,
What's for dinner? Whoa!
Ambush hut.
So not all huts are created equal. This particular hut is an ambush hut. It turns out that sometimes people live here. This is actually guarded by the head of the family, who is soon going to be just a head.
That was a terrible joke.
But unfortunately, he's red. This guy's actually going to ambush me and attack me first. I have to survive this attack and then kill him. I manage to kill him. I'm going to get all those wonderful resource nuggets in the hut. So he's actually going to attack me first. He has an attack of 2. He's going to attack my warrior, who is not supported by anybody. Nobody else is bothering him. This is, by the way, for future reference, if you want a strategy note, sometimes you want to send multiple people into a hut so that you can have support while taking out these terrible, terrible ambushers.
But in the meantime, let's stab him in the soft parts.
All right, so I'm going to roll defense. So you got to go first, sir.
All right.
So you have 1
hit
sword.
and 1 shield.
Also to note, when you are rolling for one of the NPCs, one of the non-player characters, you are not allowed to use your hut benefits, your village benefits. All right, so 1 sword. I can do this. I got this.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Everything's going to work out good.
I'll be fine. So I roll 2 shields. I defended against him easily. So time to kill. Now I'm going to attack with my 2 lovely dice, and since I'm using my character, I get to do whatever I like. So I get 1 sword and a savagery. Now this is actually a pretty interesting decision here because I could go for 2 swords and make it really safe. You have to essentially roll 100% success in order to survive, or I can get greedy and get a savagery. I only have 1 savagery token, which is limiting my ability to act. I still have a bunch of people to act. So, you know what? This is hate. Who cares about the long term? Bad choices sometimes. I'm just going to go for the extra sword. I want you dead.
All right, come on, 2 shields. Let's move these little dice out of the way here. Come on. Fight him off, Grandpa. Okay. 1 sword.
Great
1
decisions.
Was pretty
Die.
good. Dead.
Killed him. Set that place on fire. I'm going to get 3 resource tokens, solidifying my lead in resources. I'm pretty much going to get this forever. My second activation is my champion. I'm going to be picking up this mercenary that you so graciously left for me. Now, I don't get any hate or anything. You're the one who knocked her out, so I'm going to take Shea. She's going to join us in the future. I'm going to take her and I'm going to put her on my champion.
You're assuming your champion is going to live to carry her off the battlefield?
That's a true fact. He is responsible for her, and it is to note each figure can only hold 1 body. Now, for the epic conclusion, these two. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to face off. My prince has support from his friends. Champions will support for 2. So I'm actually going to get, we call this 6 dice. I love rolling 6 dice. It's really cool.
Good luck.
Here goes.
Good luck.
Well, I'm not a fan of that roll. It's okay, but not great. So I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I upgraded my village and got a second reroll. I'm going to reroll these 3. Obviously, I'm going to keep the wild because it's awesome. And get more successful. So I now have 3 swords and a wild. 3 swords is, I think, pretty good odds. So I'm actually going to turn you into a savagery, giving me a lot more fuel for later.
All right, fine. Being the prince and being the badass that he is. I've been calling him a badass a lot this game, so you really need to live up to that reputation. All right, 4 defense dice. Unfortunately, not getting support because he waited out there by himself. But you know what? I can stave off this attack. So I need to get at least 3 defense here. No problem. Boom. Okay, so we have a shield, a savagery, a sword, useless, and a wild. All right, so it doesn't make any sense to turn this into another shield because I'm taking 3 hits. I'm gonna convert this into a savagery. So that's gonna be my final result. It's gonna be 1 shield and 2 savagery. In most cases, this guy would be going down, but he's a prince.
Right.
Obviously, he's a little tougher, namely noted by the fact he's got the toughness ability. And that states that he has to basically be KO'd twice to fall down. So I'm going to take a token, put it on there to note that that's been used, and then I'm going to generate those 2 savagery from that attack.
So that covers most of the basic rules of hate. There's plenty more that would happen in this scenario. There's many more different things that can happen in the huts. Each of us have an entire deck of clan cards that will come up with lots of different abilities. In addition, there are many more scenarios that covers every clan has its own special ability. But we're going to take you now to the conclusion of the game and one of the most fun parts of the game, which is the intermission in between games. So here we are at the intermission. I lost, sadly. Michael completed his mission before me. So my incursion failed, so I would not get to rewrite his territory as mine. We are now going to go walk you through the process of turning all of our wonderful exploits in the game into hate and resources and scars and all that cool stuff. Michael is the one that killed 6 of my guys. He is going to get 4 resources.
Even though you lost, though, you did take out my prince, which I'm not too happy
There
about.
he is. I, however, did the side mission of taking out the prince, which means I get 4 hate and the Prince Slayer upgrade. It's important to note that only the characters that accomplished a KO during the game are eligible to put these upgrades on. And you always have to mind your training grounds. Training grounds will tell you the maximum number of upgrades that you're allowed to have on your figure.
One of the reasons I do like this scenario is because my objective is fairly clean about just killing your guys. Every time I do that, it's a guy that now becomes eligible for an upgrade. So it allows me to focus on that, and just really get my guys all cool and for the next missions to come.
Yeah, my poor guys. So we get to do all our end of game stuff. So I'm now going to, all these guys I've captured since the end of the game that you did not get back. I have 1 slot in the oven and 1 slot in my torture pit that I can kill your guys with. So I have this, remember these poor innocents that we picked up? Now, but unfortunately I have more guys than I actually have slots in my pit, which is a good reason to want to upgrade these and get more slots. I have to choose. So I really hate your prince. And your prince had an upgrade, so delicious.
Good night, sweet prince.
Good night, sweet prince, indeed.
Well, you're replaced.
And I'm going to, so your young blood and your shaman, I actually want, neither of them have upgrades, but I'm going to kill him to death. By the way, he had a name. His name is Spicy. Even though I tortured him, we ate him anyway. So I get a hate for the torture, and I get a resource for the oven. Anybody that you are unable to cook or torture, you have to give back. The ones that died, you are going to get to play with your prince and your shaman, but you have to get a new prince and a new shaman, which of course will start with no upgrades. That's...
Yep, the cool cleaver guy has just been eaten or tortured or dead. But okay, over here, I did get a nice little amount of guys who are eligible for upgrades, but because I was so focused on killing, I only managed to snag one of your warriors to bring back to the torture pit / oven. The benefit though is that Shira over here, I did manage to get her back. So she is going to be joining my clan because I did upgrade my Hall of Heroes previously, so I can actually have a mercenary. She's going to replace one of my warriors, just one of my generic sprums right here. So goodbye, warrior number 2. Hello, Shira. Welcome to the clan. Boom. You're now in there. And your guy right here, I was thinking about this, whether we wanted to have a nice feast in, reverence for our new arrival, or just torture him and have a good old-fashioned torture party. I think we're going to eat him, though. So, no. He's been eaten. We'll gain our resource for that. You can have that
Sadness. Back. Now that we've gotten all of our hate and resources, we're actually going to funnel these into the Chronicle and get and be able to get upgrades for it. So, I got 7 hate. That's 7, 8, 9. 9 gives me a new upgrade. 9 and 12, since they're both red numbers, I actually get 2 upgrades. So I'm going to get to go shopping for 2 wonderful upgrades. For resources, I have 5, 2, 3, upgrade, 4, 5. I'm going to get 1 village upgrade.
All right, meanwhile over here, we managed to only get 3 hate that game, but you know what? That's still going to put us right at the level for another upgrade. And then we got 7 resources. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is going to give us 2 village upgrades here.
Your village is developing pretty fast.
Yeah, we really like building things out of dead people.
It's a true fact. For every character that was KO'd during the game, we're going to have to roll for them to figure out whether they got a scar or possibly something worse. For example, my youngblood, who I've called Thick Noch Nach, was KO'd in combat. He survived, but he's going to have a scar. So I'm going to take these 3 dice, I'm going to roll them. In the rules, which we don't have in front of us right now, but in the rules we do have, there is a table that you roll for scars. So you roll 3 dice. All right, I rolled a wild, a savagery, and a shield, which is... He's amputated. So I have to get the, I have to actually put on the loss of arm scar. So he is no longer able to defend. This is terrible. So this actually scar is going to cover his range slot. So he no longer can use a bow, and he loses -1 shield on his rolls.
Pretty useless youngblood there.
Well, you know what? His new name, One Fist.
All right, now I slightly care a little bit more about this one than your youngblood. This is Tief Rippa, my warrior from earlier in the campaign that I've grown quite attached to because she's been doing some good work. But let's see what's happened to her. All right, so we got 2 shields and a sword. What do we have there, Eric?
Oh, you got a broken shoulder. Big deal.
We can recover from that.
You get one of these scars.
All right, now fortunately, this is not actually canceling out any of my abilities. It is blocking off a slot, though, for future upgrades. The other negative there is if she gets 2 of these, that is going to take her out permanently.
Ciao.
But for the time being, she's still operational, so could be worse.
One of the coolest features of hate in a sea of features that I love is, of course, the upgrades. So I gained 2 upgrades because I passed 2 milestones in hate. And I get to choose from this wonderful stack of upgrades for my characters. Now, the way that upgrades work, there are 4 potential slots for upgrades on each character. So who you choose to give one, remember, it has to be somebody that accomplished a KO feat in the game. And which upgrade slot you're going to give them both matter. And of course, you could overwrite an old upgrade, but it may be more efficient to try to load them up.
Also, something to note that, again, we are working with prototype components here, so the actual final items that we're looking at will be much more transparent than these are, so you'll be able to see clear down through the bottom.
Absolutely, yeah. They look really cool.
Really cool.
So I'll just give you a couple of examples of like nice upgrades here, right? Remember, I could get cleave for one of my champions. That was that really badass ability that your prince had. This is just a savagery. Every single time that you attack, you generate 1 savagery. That's pretty awesome. This is one of my favorites. +1 defense while you're carrying a body. You get to use them as a human shield. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like we said, there are a ton of upgrades here that you can choose from. And remember, they only last while your figure is alive. So it looks like you've already chosen an upgrade for yourself, haven't you?
Well, I had my Youngblood that managed to get away. I'm actually going to be giving her the jump ability, which I think is really cool, especially on the Youngbloods. Jump allows you to ignore the terrain penalties when you're, jumping around terrain. So there's a cool range guy now who can kind of leapfrog up and down hills across the battlefield, make them a little bit more survivable. So boom, range jump Youngblood, and we'll give you a cool name later. You earned it, buddy.
So I have to assign the Prince Slayer that I picked up from defeating the Prince, and I picked up 2 new upgrades. So I'm going to give the Prince Slayer to my warrior number 5, who I remember this is the guy that heroically mowed down your champion.
Yeah, stabbing in the back with a bunch of support. But clan strategy, right?
He's now a Prince Slayer. He's upgraded. He's done with champions. He's leveling up. I'm going to give my champion, who has a 4 defense, I'm going to give him the +1 defense while carrying a body. So he can take anybody to my oven anytime I want. And the shaman, my shaman has a specific skill that nobody else does, which is I can give support at range 3, which is really powerful. So to combo with that, I'm going to give him +3 moves when he moves. So I can go anywhere I want and support you wherever I want.
All right, and the final thing we're going to be doing is looking at our actual village upgrades here. So I got 2 upgrades after that game. I already thought about which ones I want to choose. I'm going to choose the training ground level 2. So that means that now my guys can actually get 2 upgrades each, because I'm planning on these guys becoming just legendary warriors. And I'm actually going to give myself +1 die roll because I really like stacking that with a lot of the Umkal abilities.
I want to increase my oven, because I'm a little bit behind in resources, and resources only go up by 1 every 5. So I want to generate a lot more and cook more of your people. I only got the 1 milestone. That's all I can get. I almost bought a level of surgeon, which I'll probably get next time. The surgeon heals 1 scar on one of my figures per level. So if I got that every game, I would get to heal a scar from somebody who survived previous combat, which would help pour 1 fist out.
Okay, and moving back to the Chronicle here, now I've got my chance for the second part of our clash here for me to choose the next encounter that we're doing. And I'm just going to continue my dominating march right here into the center of the map right here.
That's pretty gutsy.
Worth the most victory points, but the most exposed area. But we unlock some cool extra scenarios we can play there as well.
That's true. And of course, for each of the outer ring, the inner ring, and the center, there's a different group of scenarios, each with escalating benefits that you can go for. So anybody who goes after you there will start a really cool scenario, but it's risky. You are, as you said, you are exposed to all 4 inner ring areas.
Yeah.
So one other thing I'd like to mention is that when you are fighting for the center territory, is that the scenario that's available there is called the Tyrant. In the lore, that's what all of the tribes were going after. They wanted to be the Tyrant. And the Tyrant in Hate represents a gigantic figure. It's even bigger than a prince. The person who wins that scenario actually becomes the Tyrant, deposing the former Tyrant if possible. That player will replace the prince with the Tyrant, who is even more powerful and has a custom set of skills, which we will unveil during the Kickstarter. Thank you for watching our gameplay video. We hope you enjoyed it. Please keep following the campaign for further updates. We'll be posting rules and supplements as the weeks go on.
And do remember that Hate is Kickstarter exclusive, so you're going to need to pick up during our Kickstarter campaign.
Until then, I am Eric.
I'm Michael.
And this is HATE!
Unleash your hate.